been talking together about how to construct productive conflict rather than destructive conflict. And we're looking specifically at William Urey's book, Getting Past No, and the strategies that he has suggested for how to deal with someone or a group that doesn't want to come to a mutually agreed upon solution. They just want what they want. They just want a victory. And how do you come to a mutually agreed upon solution without stepping into their strategy, which is to just crush the other party? And we've talked about, he has 5 strategies. We're on strategy number 4. The first one was don't react, get on the balcony. The second was don't argue, step to their side. The third was don't escalate, educate. And the fourth is don't reject, reframe. Oftentimes what's going to happen is somebody's going to suggest something and you're going to want to say, no, that won't work. I recognize that this is particularly a strategy that, well, I like. And it doesn't work very well. I want to be able to say, no, weren't you listening to me? And what that does is it creates a barrier. I need to find a way to say yes and, to help someone forward. And oftentimes that means reframing. But oftentimes it becomes particularly difficult when there's authority structures that are getting in the way. So let's say, for example, that you and I are having some kind of dispute, and you're my boss. And you're saying, here's the way it's going to be. Now, I don't have any authority to say no to you, but at the same time I recognize there's a problem. So what do? I want to say to my boss, yes, you're absolutely right. We need to accomplish that goal. But I think there are also some competing commitments. And I think that we need to be sure to accomplish these other goals as well. And then I name the other competing commitments. And then I say, what we've done, what you've just suggested is a good first step because it accomplishes one of those goals. But we'll probably need to keep working on this because we know that we have to accomplish 2 goals. Or we need to accomplish 3 goals. Is there a way that we can tweak this, a way that we can figure something else out that would accomplish all 3 goals and not just the one that you've brought up now? And what I've done is I've done 2 things there. One is I've named why it won't work, but I've named it by talking about goals that we've agreed on together. These competing commitments can't be, well, you've got your way of seeing the world and what's good for you, and mine, I've got my way of seeing the world and that's good for me, and those are competing commitments. No, those aren't competing commitments. The other party doesn't share those commitments. The only way you can talk about competing commitments is if you talk about things that the other party shares with you. So when I'm talking to my boss and when we're in some kind of a place where we don't agree on it, the strategy we need to pursue or something like that, what I will do is I will name the competing commitments and hope that we can then set up a third space, not your space, not my space, but a third space that is all about these mutual goals that we have and figuring out how to accomplish all of them. I don't want to say to my boss, I don't want to say to somebody who's working for me, no, you're wrong. I want to say that's a good first step. But what we have are competing commitments that accomplishes one of those goals, but it doesn't accomplish all of them. I need to not reject, I need to reframe.